first is there anything else that you'd like to say about the ICF, you know, from your heart, or even if there's some things that could even bother you, but you know what I'm saying? Just talk about anything that you'd like to say something about the ICF.
I'm trying to think. I feel right now, for me, right now, I feel like I'm in a rebirth, because I came from San Francisco, and then I've come up here to a whole new group of people, and you know, dynamics are different in Healdsburg and everything else, and the branch is growing, and there's just so much else going on. And for me, it's almost like a rebirth kind of thing, and I'm just enjoying seeing it. What I enjoy seeing is that the people that are in the branch that are willing to step up, many of them are really not very knowledgeable about the ICF, so I keep getting emails and phone calls, and I'm kind of like the mother superior here, and then again guiding them along. But the interest is there, and what they want to do, and they just want to do more. And I wish David and I saw that when we were doing expansion, some of the new places, they wanted to do everything at once. And we told them, remember, we used to say to them, no, one thing, you can't do everything, because they were so inspired by what the organization can be. And I think if we could sustain that and keep that going, you know, I think the organization has a life. Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah, I agree. Especially when Carmen and I were both organizing branches, Morgan Hill, Arizona. And you see these people and they're wondering, we're getting there that first night, well, what are these people talking about? And when you talk and explain the Federation, what we believe in, our charity work, no matter what, our bishop days, helping seminarians, you see, oh, and then you work with them again, and they really, God, this is an organization I want. And then on that day when we open the branch and they're there, you know, being initiated and doing their promise, you see a glow in them. You know, you see the Federation. I know we've been closing some branches, but we're opening branches, and you see how these people are energized and come back. You know, in my own branch, you know, we have a lot of new members. They're there. You know, we're getting 90 at a meeting. You know, of course, we're eating, and you know that helps. Yeah. But they're there, energized. Yeah, and they want willing to try. You want to try something new? Well, what if it doesn't work? We don't know. Let's try it. You know, and we try things, and they're really enthused.
I remember when we did the Morgan Hill that first night, and you and Carmen came down, and you got into the history. Of course, my opinion, you're very good at that, the history, and you could see the looks in their face and the interest. And I think we signed up over 80 people the first night to just
we did.
When we installed the branch, we had was 110 that night. It was absolutely an incredible.
Same in Surprise. We had over 100 when we opened the branch.
Yeah, fair enough. Bob.
Well, I feel very fortunate. I was Grand President of the Italian Catholic Federation from 1978 to 1981. We had over 25,000 members at the time. It was really a large organization. And I had the opportunity to work closely with one of our co-founders, Luigi Providenza. In fact, I was Grand President of the Federation when Luigi died in February of 1981. It was a rare opportunity and a challenge, because it was the first time in the history of the Federation when neither one of our co-founders was alive and present with us. We had to go forward for the first time without a co-founder. What I think is the strength of the Federation is our ability to adapt and to grow. When I was Grand President, basically all we had was a scholarship fund. From that time forward, we've established a ladder program for the scholarship program, which wasn't there earlier. We started a Grand President's Award, which wasn't there before. After the death of Luigi, we started the Luigi Providenza, now the Lady Augusta and Luigi Providenza Memorial Scholarship Fund to aid seminarians. We started, as they talked about, we had a heritage program. That wasn't there earlier in the 1970s or even the early 80s. It started a little bit later. We began other awards. We started at that time the Pope John Award. We started the Family of the Year Award, the Religious Award, the Youth Award. All of these things came in later in the Italian Catholic Federation. And what I think is the strength of the Federation, and what I think it's going to be critical for our growth in the future, is that we continue to make changes that are positive. We adapt to new situations because you cannot stay in one place in a changing world.
That's right.
And I have seen the Federation from my time when I entered the Central Council in 1971 to my time now as a member emeritus, live member emeritus of the Central Council. I have seen us adapt, change, and go forward. And if the future members of the Central Council and the members of the Federation will continue to look for new ideas, such as the Gifts of Love program and Cooley's Anemia, which again, they were not there in 1978, 1981. But we've brought those things on, we've made the Federation stronger, and I think we'll continue to succeed as long as we look for new programs. If we have some kind of vision for the future and the passion to say these things are important, and then we put them into action and establish them, then I think the Federation will be strong for many years to come. Thank you.
Could I add one more thing?
Sure, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, we also started the family program, the family membership program.
Right.
And,
None of these things were there
yeah,
before.
And you know, how many, again, this is the idea of the family of the Federation, not only mothers and fathers, but now children.
The children.
And as a matter of fact, yesterday at Scholarship, when we did the scholarship judging, how many of the young people that we assigned the scholarships to were members of the Federation? Yeah, so.
Is there anything else?
You know, I remember one thing. We used to support the youth baseball teams, and we used to get their shirts, and on the back we had our big shield. And I remember I was standing by the coaches and the two little boys. They were probably 8 years old, 7 years old, and one of them turned to me, you know, we're going to win. And the other boy said, well, why? Well, see, we're playing for God. You see, it says Italian Catholic, we're playing for God. And you know, that emblem was out there all the time. And Crockett's a small town, but everyone knew the ICF.
You know, Bob, when you had 25,000 members, how many people went to convention?
Oh.
Over 500.
There were over 500,
500
votes
people would come to convention.
for the Central Council.
We couldn't hardly fit in one hotel. We had to go to multiple hotels because nobody could hold us. And I can remember once when we actually we were in San Mateo, and at Bay Meadows,
right.
We marched in procession. at the racetrack and everything else.
The Cardinal was
and
there.
The Cardinal,
in Los Angeles.
It was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
That can't be duplicated anymore because of numbers. But there were some outstanding things happening when there were 25,000 members of the ICF.
Ario Gregorio liked to talk about that.
He did. He would have.
500 Sisters of Mercy that came. And,
Oh, yeah.
And they said there were like 13,000 Italians showed up there.
That was his homeland where we had the convention.
That's his brand.
That was his
district.
Yeah.
What was it like when you all met Denny Thomas too when he came?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to present the Pope John 23rd Award to, oh my goodness, the Italian.
No, I had Butkus.
Dick Butkus was for
mine.
David.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he was the Italian.
Campanella.
Joe Campanella.
Oh, Joe Campanella, yeah.
Joe Campanella. And to this day, I have a picture when I was wearing my tuxedo and Joe Campanella was wearing his tuxedo, and I'm presenting him the Pope John 23rd Award. Later, the following year, I think, David presented the award to Dick Butkus, who was really a good recipient. We think of it as football, but there's more to the ICF than just looking at football players, but the good that they do.
Yeah, and then Richard Valley was president when we presented it to Danny Thomas.
Danny Thomas, right?
And he had, we happened to be up in the Grand President's suite, and he invited Danny Thomas to come up just to meet a few of the officers. And so we had a great time with Danny Thomas in the suite. He was just so funny and just so great.
Yeah.
So we had that opportunity.
Yeah, so that, as you can say, the ICF has experienced their family, faith, and good times.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Family, faith, friendship, and heritage. You wrap them all together, you've got the Italian Catholic Federation. And if it wasn't the kind of fun with all those things together, I know I wouldn't be in it, my wife wouldn't be in it, but we love it. We've made it part of our life.
Yeah, it's a very unusual, I would think, organization than any other.
You know, Jim, I was reading an article, one of the old convention souvenir books. And Luigi, when came to this country, got a job working for an Italian Catholic newspaper, started in San Francisco. And he was going all over the state trying to get people to subscribe to the newspaper, the Italians at that time. And he noticed a lot of them were home and everything else. And the idea, how could we bring these Italians closer to the church, to their faith, and how could they help a parish? How could they help the local priest? And this was it.
That's what we
That's
did.
where his dream came from. And of course he was with Father Bendini, and look, we're still there. I mean, you look at some of these, I always ask, if we folded up in Crockett, who's there to do the work we do?
Right.
What we do in the church, what we do in the community, not just the church, but in the community. When you come to this small town of Crockett, what do you see? Out there, Crockett, Italian Catholic Federation is one, Lions Club and that, but we're right there. What we do for it.
My feeling has been the whole time, you can't tax people maybe to get their money, they don't like that. But we operate as translators. We put on a dinner, we make a profit, we translate that money into a gift to seminarians, into a gift to Cooley's Anemia, into a gifts of love, or anywhere we give money back to our parish. The Italian Catholic Federation translates money where we give people a good time, we make a profit, and we put it to good use. To me, I think we're doing a heck of a job.
Right.
Anything else? If not,
Okay.
it's been great interviewing you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Very,
you.
very interesting. I think everybody's going to enjoy this. And
Well, I hope.
Fitz and I both thank you very much
If
for
not,
doing
they'll
it.
throw tomato at us.